Top 10 Air Jordan 37 Sneakers of 2022. The Jumpman has continued to release new shoes to the Air Jordan lineup many years after the athlete's retirement in an effort to extend MJ's legacy beyond his NBA career. And while very few of these can compare to the heritage and significance of products like the Air Jordan 1, they do play a significant part in developing the brand. Although the Air Jordan 37, which was just leaked over the weekend, is scheduled to release in a HARE inspired colorway, it doesn't necessarily follow that the team has forgotten its roots. The tongue's multicolored, retro-styled pattern closely resembles that of the Air Jordan, which is where Bugs Bunny's signature release is referenced. Despite being most frequently linked to retro releases, the Air Jordan series is still heavily focused on basketball. Michael Jordan's namesake trademark sneaker line has debuted the newest iteration of the most popular athlete-specific footwear line in history, the Air Jordan 37, ahead of the 2022-23 NBA season. The silhouette keeps a shape comparable to the last few pairs from #23's roster and draws inspiration in part from the Air Jordan 7, which has been commemorating its 30th anniversary all year. Maximum enjoyment of the responsiveness of the solution is made possible by a full-length zoom air strobel that covers the entire footbed. In the 1980s and 1990s, Jordan brand continued to have success by combining classic tonal placement and color blocking with iconic forms and constructions. The iconic infrared colorway of the Air Jordan 6 is now staking claim to Jumpman's most recent tooling for the hardwood. These sneakers have been praised for their welcome returns to the heritage-filled archives. The Air Jordan 37's mid-top construction mimics the jet black Lenoweave upper to its inspirational counterpart, extending the pitch dark outfit across its mesh tongue, suede heel overlays, and protective TPU paneling at the heel. To date, using the palette of the AJ6 Raptor ensemble in addition to the Washington Wizards power forward Rui Hachimura has served as the focal point of the company's activities in Japan, where the big man has now attained a status comparable to that of China's Guo AILUN. That strategy mostly relies on limited edition hues created with Rui in mind. The big gentleman, who earlier this year delivered a number of Jordans, now teams up with fellow Jumpman athletes like JAYSON TATUM for another Jordan, the Rui Hachimura X Air Jordan 37. Which once more honors the forward's history. Although no specific design inspiration has been revealed, it is obvious that, like many of his previous Air Jordan creations, the pair is inspired by a first look at an upcoming Air Jordan 37, OREO, surfaced earlier this week. Following a few OG-inspired colorways, a PE for China's Guo AILUN, and a collaboration with LA retailer Undefeated, Jordan brand will look to a legendary colorway to kickstart their run of GR releases. Although this release leans more towards a double-stuff delivery with its heavy concentration on blinding white hues, the colorway's iconic splatter design on the midsole complements the time-honored combination of white and black. However, the pair's eye-catching white sheath and leather overlays cover the majority of it. Here, black collars and tongue bleed into a tonal upper below. One controversy that has plagued the sneaker community for more than 20 years is the Mike's Playoff Air Jordan 7. Like other items from the first Jordan catalog, this was given a moniker much later. The Air Jordan 7 Raptors matches the expansion franchise to a T, but given that the shoe was built 3 years before Toronto even had a team, it just didn't make sense to call it that. The topic is made even more aggravating for purists by the fact that the couple is connected outside of MJ's legacy as a result of this. The discussion will now resume with the release of the new Air Jordan 37 Raptors. No matter who calls. On the brand's new signature model, Guo AILUN and Jordan brand will continue their yearly partnership, with the Chinese athlete once again introducing an ethos recognizing his Orient background. The new Air Jordan 37, Guo AILUN, keeps things simple across the upper, with all white mesh and synthetics extending from toe to tail. This is a return to a mix of white, jade, and gold. Jade greens are employed as trim along the mesh, sole, and tongue of the forefoot, while metallic golds are used only around the collar. although it's pretty clear that this release belonged to AILUN. Guo's branding is now visible. Instead, Jordan brand subtly referenced. The most recent additions to the Air Jordan lineup hardly ever result in joint initiatives, save from a wide range of player exclusives. With the Air Jordan 37, that will change as the shoe collaborates with Undefeated for a colorway that is somewhat reminiscent of the storied Air Jordan 4 from the streetwear brand. UNDEFEATED's Air Jordan 37 debuts shortly after the announcement of their impending Air Force Ones and shares the same militaristic color scheme as the HA4. The Tinker Hatfield-designed sneaker, however, opted for a single shade of olive throughout, whereas this pair leans on two darker hits mark the leather that wraps the collar. SATOU SABALLY, a star for the WNBA Dallas Wings, will also be releasing a unique Air Jordan 37 in addition to JAYSON TATUM. Dressed in a color scheme of celestial teal, ocean cube, flash crimson, volt, black, and the tongue, collar, and midsole of this version of the Air Jordan 37 are personalized. Additionally, it comes with insoles that have been specially printed and are packaged. As they did with the Air Jordan 36 in a slew of PEs for their Olympic athletes, Jordan Brand will debut the all-new Air Jordan 37 alongside colorways made with their sponsored athletes in mind. Boston Celtic Jayson Tatum is the first to show up, and he cooks up a release trimmed in individualized details across the tongue, mudguard, insole, and packaging. His family, love of muscle cars, and even his own ink serve as sources of inspiration. Pale vanilla, black, and red dominate the design, with magnificent gum rubber outsoles laying at your feet.